Welcome to the Audiobook, Financial Advice for Beginners. Money touches almost every part of our lives. It helps us provide for our families, plan for the future, and enjoy the present. But for many of us, money can also bring stress, confusion, or frustration. The good news? You don't need to be a financial expert to start making smart, confident choices with your money. And if you find this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This audiobook is like having a mentor by your side, guiding you through the basics of budgeting, saving, spending wisely, and building habits that stick. Each chapter is filled with simple ideas you can start using right away, no matter where you're starting from. Chapter 1: Why Money Matters. The first step to taking control. Let me tell you something important. Something I wish someone had told me when I was just starting out. Money isn't about being rich. It's about being ready. Ready for surprises, ready for opportunities, ready for the kind of life you want to live. And here's the good news. You don't need a big salary or a fancy degree to take control of your money. You just need a plan, some good habits, and a little patience. That's where I come in. Think of me as your friendly mentor, here to guide you step by step. You see, a lot of people feel nervous when they hear words like budget, finance, or savings. Maybe you feel that way too. Maybe money feels like a constant headache, or maybe you're tired of seeing your paycheck disappear before the month ends. I get it. And I want you to know, you're not alone, and it doesn't have to be this way. We're going to break it all down together, using simple ideas you can start today. No complicated charts, no scary terms, just plain advice that works. So let's start with the first big idea. Why does money even matter? Some people say, money isn't everything, and sure, love, health, and happiness matter too. But here's the truth. Money touches every part of your daily life. It decides whether you can handle an unexpected car repair without stress. It decides if you can treat your family to a meal out without guilt. It decides if you can sleep peacefully at night without worrying about bills. Money matters because it gives you choices, and choices give you freedom. Now, I want you to imagine this. Two people, same job, same income. One of them always feels broke. Payday comes, and the money's gone in a flash. Rent, bills, little treats here and there. They're stuck, living for the next paycheck. The other person? They're calm. They know where their money goes. They've set aside a bit for emergencies. They can afford a small holiday without reaching for a credit card. What's the difference? Not luck. Not magic. Just simple, smart steps you can take too. Here's the first truth I want you to hold on to. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how you manage what you have. You could double your salary tomorrow, but if you don't have a plan, that extra cash will slip through your fingers just as fast. I've seen it happen again and again. People win the lottery or get a big raise, and end up broke. Why? Because they didn't change their habit. And that brings us to the second truth. It's never too late to start. Maybe you've made some mistakes. Maybe you've avoided looking at your bank balance, or you've got debt you'd rather not think about. That's okay. Today can be the day you start fresh. No one is born knowing how to handle money. It's something we all learn, and you're learning it now. Let's bust another myth while we're here. Managing money is not complicated. You don't need to be good at math. You don't need to know fancy investment terms. All you need is a simple plan that helps you spend less than you earn, save a little bit regularly, and keep an eye on where your money goes. That's it. The fancy stuff? We can talk about that later if you want. But for now, we're focusing on the basics. The things that will actually make a difference in your life right now. So, here's your first bit of friendly advice from me to you. Get curious about your money. Where does it go? What are you spending it on? This isn't about judging yourself. It's about understanding. Because once you see the picture clearly, you can start making changes that work for you. And don't worry, I'll be with you at every step. We'll talk about how to build a budget that fits your life and doesn't make you miserable. We'll look at easy ways to save money without feeling like you're missing out. We'll even chat about why we sometimes spend on things we don't really need and how to outsmart those habits. By the end of this book, you'll have a toolkit you can use every day. You'll feel more confident about your choices. And best of all, you'll feel less stressed and more in control. That's what I want for you. So, let's take that first small step. Pay attention. For the next few days, just notice where your money goes. No pressure, no changes yet, just notice. Keep a little list if you can. Jot it down on your phone, in a notebook, whatever works for you. This is the first move toward taking control, because you can't manage what you don't see. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being prepared. And you, my friend, are already on your way. Alright, now that we've talked about why money matters, let's talk about something even more powerful: your mindset about money. Because here's the secret most people don't realize: how you think about money shapes how you use money. And the good news? You can change how you think, starting today. Let me ask you a simple question. When you think about money, what feeling pops up first? Is it stress? Worry? Excitement? Maybe even fear? Be honest with yourself. There's no right or wrong answer. The reason I ask is because that feeling is like the lens through which you see all your financial choices. If you feel afraid of money, you might avoid looking at your bank account. If money makes you anxious, you might overspend to feel better in the moment. If you think money is only for rich people, you might not bother trying to save. But here's the truth: money is a tool, your tool, and you get to decide how to use it. Now, let's talk about what taking control actually looks like. It's not about being strict or saying no to everything fun. It's about saying yes to the things that matter most to you, because you've planned for them. Think of it like driving a car. If you don't have your hands on the wheel, you're just along for the ride, hoping you don't crash. But when you take the wheel, when you know where you're going and how much fuel you have, you're in charge. That's what managing money is like. It's not about restriction. It's about direction. I want to share a small, simple exercise with you, something you can do today that costs nothing and takes just a few minutes. Ready? Write down what you want your money to do for you. Don't overthink it. Just jot down a few things that would make your life feel easier, happier, or more secure. Maybe it's save for a car without a loan. Maybe it's have an emergency fund so I don't panic when something breaks. Maybe it's take my family on a vacation without going into debt. These are your goals. They don't have to impress anyone. They just have to matter to you. Once you have that list, even if it's just one or two things, you've taken a huge first step. Because now you have a reason to start paying attention to where your money goes. Now you're not just saving or budgeting because someone told you to. You're doing it because it helps you get to something you want. And here's another piece of advice from me as your money mentor: start small. I know it's tempting to think you need to make big, dramatic changes right away. Cut out every treat. Save half your paycheck. Pay off all your debt in 1 month. But that's not realistic, and it's not necessary. The real magic happens in the small, steady step, like setting aside just a little bit of money each week, like checking your spending once a week to see where it's going, like choosing to wait a day before making a big purchase. These little moves? They add up, and they're way easier to stick with over time. Let's also talk about another important idea: forgive yourself for past mistakes. Maybe you've racked up debt. Maybe you've spent money on things you didn't really need. Maybe you've avoided dealing with your finances because it felt overwhelming. That's okay. We all start somewhere, and what matters is what you do next. Be kind to yourself. No guilt. No shame. Just focus on the next small step. Finally, I want you to remember this: you don't have to figure this all out overnight. Think of managing money like planting a garden. You don't drop seeds in the soil and expect a full-grown tree the next day. You water it. You give it time. You check in on it. And slowly it grows. Your financial health is the same. Small, steady care leads to strong, lasting results. So here's your mission for the week. Notice where your money goes. No judgment, just notice. Write down 1 or 2 goals that matter to you. Think of one small step you can take, like setting aside a tiny bit of savings or waiting before you buy something. That's it. No pressure, no stress, just simple, doable steps. And remember, I'm right here with you every step of the way. Chapter 2: Budgeting Basics: How to Build a Plan That Works for You. Let's talk about a word that makes a lot of people groan: budgeting. I get it. When you hear budget, you might picture spreadsheets, long lists of numbers, or cutting out every little thing that makes you happy. But here's what I want you to know: a budget isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. Freedom to choose where your money goes, freedom from worry when bills come due, freedom to enjoy your life because you've planned for it. Think of a budget like a map. If you're going on a trip, you wouldn't just hop in the car and hope for the best, right? You'd want some idea of where you're going and how you'll get there. A budget does the same thing for your money. It helps you steer it in the right direction so you end up where you want to go, not just where the road takes you. Now, let's break it down in the simplest way possible. A budget is just a plan that helps you do 3 things. Know how much money is coming in. Know where that money needs to go, like rent, food, bills. Decide what you want to do with what's left, like saving, fun stuff, goals. That's it. No complicated formulas. No fancy apps, unless you want them. Just a clear picture of your money. Let's walk through a simple example. Imagine you bring home $2,000 a month after taxes. Out of that, maybe $700 goes to rent, $300 to food, $200 to transport, $100 to utilities, and $200 to other bills. That leaves you with $500. Now, here's where your budget gives you power. You decide what happens to that $500. Maybe you put $100 in savings, $50 toward paying down debt, $50 for emergencies, and the rest for fun or small treat. The key is you're making those choices on purpose, not just letting the money disappear. And here's the really important part: a good budget fits your real life. If you try to create a budget that's too strict, like cutting out every coffee or never allowing yourself a meal out, it won't last. You'll feel frustrated. You'll feel deprived. And before long, you'll give up. That's why I always tell people: build a budget that feels realistic, not perfect. Leave space for little joys. Plan for fun. Because money isn't just for bills, it's for living. A lot of folks ask me, what's the best way to start a budget? And I always say the same thing: start by tracking where your money is going right now. For 1 month, just write down every dollar you spend. You can do it in a notebook, on your phone, or even in a simple app if that's your style. Don't judge yourself. Don't try to change anything yet. Just watch. This is like taking a snapshot of your spending habits. Once you see where your money is actually going, you'll know where to adjust. Let me share a story. A friend of mine, Jamal, always felt broke, even though he had a decent job. He decided to track his spending for a month. What he found surprised him. He was spending almost $200 a month on snacks, small treats, and little purchases he didn't even remember making. When he saw that, he didn't beat himself up. Instead, he adjusted. He set a limit for those small treats and redirected some of that money toward paying down a credit card. After a few months, he felt way more in control and still got to enjoy his favorite coffee once in a while. That's the magic of a budget that works for you. It helps you see the patterns and gives you the power to shift them at your own pace. Before we wrap up this page, here's your next small action step. Pick one tool for tracking your spending this month. Maybe it's a notebook you keep in your bag. Maybe it's your phone's notes app. Maybe it's snapping photos of receipts. Whatever works for you. Write down every dollar you spend. No judgment, no stress. Just collect the information. We'll use it soon to build a plan that fits your life. Remember, budgeting isn't about making your life harder. It's about making your money work for you so you can enjoy your life without constant stress. And you, my friend, are already on your way. Great job sticking with me so far. Now that you understand what a budget really is, your personal money plan, let's talk about how to make it flexible and keep it going. Because let's be honest, life doesn't always go according to plan. Cars break down. Medical bills pop up. A friend invites you to a wedding you forgot about. That's why a good budget isn't written in stone. It's more like a guide you can adjust as you go. Here's the first big tip. Check in with your budget regularly. I'm not talking about spending hours every night worrying over every cent. I'm talking about maybe 10 to 15 minutes once a week. Just to look at how you're doing. Are you sticking close to your plan? Did anything surprise you this week? Did you spend more or less than you expected in certain areas? This little check-in helps you catch small issues before they become big ones. Let me share another real-life story. My friend Amina started budgeting after feeling like her money kept slipping away. She built a simple plan: rent, bills, savings, fun money. But about 2 months in, she realized she kept going over on her grocery spending. Instead of getting upset, she adjusted. She added a bit more to groceries and took a little from her entertainment budget. Guess what? The plan still worked. And she felt better because she wasn't constantly going over her limit. That's the power of flexibility. Here's the second tip. Use tools that fit your style. You don't need fancy apps or complicated software unless you want them. Some people love a notebook. Others use the Notes app on their phone. Some people like simple apps that track spending automatically. Here are a few ideas. Notebook and pen. Quick, simple, no tech required. Phone notes or spreadsheet. Easy to access, easy to update. Budget apps like Mint, Inab, or even your bank's app. These can link to your accounts and do a lot of the work for you. Pick what feels comfortable. The best tool is the one you'll actually use. And the third tip? Be kind to yourself. No one follows a budget perfectly all the time. Life happens. You might overspend some weeks. That's okay. The key is to notice it, adjust your plan, and keep going. The worst thing you can do is give up because you think you failed. There's no failing here, only learning and improving. Another trick that can help: set mini goals inside your budget. For example, you might set a goal to spend $50 less on eating out this month, or save an extra $20 toward an emergency fund. These small wins keep you motivated, and they build up over time to make a big difference. And don't forget, your budget should reflect your values. If family time is important to you, make sure your budget allows for that, maybe setting aside a little fun money for outings or treats. If travel makes you happy, put a bit toward a future trip. When your budget supports the things that matter most to you, you'll feel more satisfied and less tempted to overspend on stuff that doesn't. Finally, here's your small action step for this week. Do your first check-in. Pick a day, maybe Sunday evening or Monday morning, and spend 10 to 15 minutes looking over what you've spent so far. Where are you on track? Where might you need to adjust? Pick one mini goal for this month. Maybe it's saving $10 more than last month. Maybe it's packing lunch one extra day a week. Keep it small, simple, and doable. Remember, budgeting isn't about being perfect. It's about being prepared. And every small step you take puts you closer to feeling confident and in control. You've got this, and I'm here to help you along the way. Chapter 3. The Art of Saving, Creating Safety Nets and Wealth. Let's get real for a moment. Saving money can feel hard. When you've got bills to pay, a family to support, or just everyday life pulling at your wallet, setting aside extra cash might seem impossible. But let me tell you something that can change the way you think about saving. Saving isn't about the amount, it's about the habit. Let that sink in. It's not about how much you save at first. It's about getting into the habit of saving regularly, no matter how small the amount. Because once saving becomes a normal part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or having your morning coffee, it starts to build up without you even noticing. So, how do you start? Start small. Start simple. Start now. Even if it's just $1 a day or $5 a week or whatever fits your life right now. The point is to get started. Think of it like planting seeds. A few coins here, a few dollars there, and before you know it, you've got a growing little garden of savings. Let's break it down. Why do we save in the first place? There are a few key reasons. To handle life's surprises, like when your car needs a new battery or your pet needs a vet visit. To reach goals that matter to you, maybe a trip, a new gadget, or starting a small business. To build peace of mind, so you're not living in constant worry about what's around the corner. You don't have to wait until you have extra money to start saving. Because, truthfully, if you don't build the habit now, that extra money tends to vanish on other things. I've seen it time and again. People say they'll save when they get a raise or when bills go down, but somehow the raise gets eaten up by new expenses. That's just how life works. So, we flip the script, we pay ourselves first. Here's a simple rule to live by. Whenever money comes in, set aside a small piece of it before you do anything else. It can be as little as 1%. The key is to do it before you spend on anything else. Think of it like giving your future self a gift, a little security blanket that you're building $1 at a time. Let me share a story. There's this guy I know, Leo. He always thought saving was for people who made more money. But one day he decided to try saving just $1 a day. That's it. No big plan, no big pressure. After a month, he had $30. That $30 turned into $60 the next month because he found he could spare a little more. A year later, Leo had over $700 in his savings jar, and for the first time in his life, when his car broke down, he didn't need to put it on a credit card. That's the power of small, steady saving. Now, let's talk about where to put your savings. The best place depends on your goal. Emergency fund? A simple savings account at your bank works fine. The key is that it's separate from your spending money so you're not tempted to dip into it. Short-term goals like a trip? Maybe a second savings account or even an envelope or jar system at home if that helps you see the progress. Long-term goals like retirement? That's something we can chat about later, but the important thing is to start somewhere. Pro tip: if your bank offers automatic transfers, set one up. Even $10 a week adds up. When you automate saving, you don't have to think about it, and you're less likely to skip it. Finally, I want to remind you, saving isn't about being perfect. Some months you'll save more. Some months you might not save at all, and that's okay. What matters is that you come back to it again and again. Keep planting those seeds. They'll grow, I promise. Before we wrap up this page, here's your friendly action step. Pick one small amount you can save this week. Even if it's $1, start. Decide where you'll keep it: a jar, an account, a separate envelope. If you can, set up an automatic transfer for a tiny amount. Remember, every dollar you save is a step toward your goals and a gift to your future self. Okay, so you've started saving, even just a little. That's a big win already. Now let's take it a step further. Let's talk about building your safety net, that emergency fund that gives you peace of mind when life throws surprises your way. Here's what I want you to remember: an emergency fund isn't about fear, it's about freedom. Freedom from panic when the fridge breaks. Freedom from sleepless nights when the car won't start. Freedom from borrowing at high interest because you didn't have cash set aside. Your emergency fund is like a superhero cape for your future self. It's there to catch you when things don't go as planned. How much should you aim for? Don't let big numbers scare you. I know people throw out figures like 3 to 6 months of expenses. That's a great goal, but it's not where you start. You start with what you can. Maybe it's $100. Maybe it's $500. The important thing is to begin. Once you hit your first small target, you can aim higher. Think of it like leveling up in a game. one stage at a time. So, how do you build that emergency fund without feeling like you're giving up all the fun stuff? Make it automatic. Like we talked about before, set up an automatic transfer, even for a small amount. Use windfalls, tax refund, birthday money, a bonus at work. Toss a chunk into your emergency fund. You won't miss it because you didn't count on it. Save the difference. If you spend less than you planned somewhere, like skipping takeout one night, put that extra into your fund. Now let's make saving fun. Yes, fun. Here are a few ideas. Savings challenges. Try a no-spend weekend challenge or save all your loose change for a month. Turn it into a game and see how much you can collect. Round it up. Some apps and banks round up your purchases to the nearest dollar and stash the change. Buy a coffee for $2.50? 50 cents goes to savings. It adds up faster than you'd think. Visual trackers. Draw a simple chart or use a jar you can see filling up. Seeing your progress makes it feel real and motivating. Let me tell you about Sarah. She decided to save just $5 a week toward emergencies. That didn't feel like much, but she also started doing small challenges, like no-spend weekends and saving her change. After 6 months, she had over $300 set aside. And when her washing machine broke, she didn't panic. She used her fund, handled the problem, and felt amazing. She told me, it wasn't just about the money. It was about knowing I could handle it. Here's one more tip. Name your savings. If you call it your emergency fund, or freedom fund, or peace of mind jar, it reminds you why you're doing it. It makes it feel personal, and that helps you stay motivated. Before we wrap up this page, here's your friendly action step. Set a small, first target for your emergency fund. Maybe it's $100. Maybe it's $250. Whatever feels doable to you. Pick one fun saving trick to try this week. Maybe a no-spend challenge, maybe saving your change. Decide where you'll keep your emergency fund, somewhere safe but easy to access when you really need it. And remember, saving doesn't mean you can't enjoy your money. It means you're giving yourself the gift of security, so you can enjoy your life without constant worry. That's what smart saving is all about. Chapter 4. The Psychology of Spending, Why We Buy and How to Spend Smarter. Let's have a heart-to-heart about something that trips up even the smartest people: spending money on things we don't really need. Don't feel bad, we've all done it. You walk into a store for one thing and somehow you leave with a bag full of stuff. Or maybe you're scrolling online, see a great deal, and click buy now before you've really thought it through. Sound familiar? That's not a lack of willpower, it's human nature. And today we're going to pull back the curtain on why we do this, so you can start making smarter choices. First, let's talk about emotional spending. Sometimes we buy things because of how we feel, not because we really need them. Maybe you've had a tough day at work, and that new gadget or outfit feels like a reward. Maybe you're feeling bored or sad, and buying something gives you a quick mood boost. The problem is that good feeling doesn't last long, and then you're left with less money and sometimes even regret. Marketers know this. That's why ads try to connect products with feelings. Buy this and you'll feel happier. Get that and you'll feel successful. But the truth is, no item you can buy will fix feelings for more than a moment. The real fix comes from understanding what's driving the urge to spend and finding better ways to deal with those feelings. Next, let's look at the trap stores and websites set for us. Have you ever noticed how the checkout area at a store is lined with little things? Gum, snacks, cheap gadgets? That's no accident. It's designed to tempt you while you're waiting. Online, it's the people also bought section or those countdown timers that say, only 2 left, buy now. These tricks create a sense of urgency or make you feel like you're missing out if you don't act fast. But here's the truth. If you didn't need it before you saw it, you probably don't need it now. So how can you start spending smarter? Here are some mentor-approved tips that really work. Pause before you buy. Give yourself a rule, like the 24-hour rule. When you see something you want that's not a basic need, wait a day before you buy it. Most of the time, you'll realize you don't really want it after all. Ask yourself why before you buy. Are you shopping because you need something? Or because you're stressed, bored, or trying to cheer yourself up? If it's the second, take a walk, call a friend, or do something free that lifts your mood. Make a wish list. Instead of buying on impulse, add the item to a wish list. If you still want it in a week or two and it fits your budget, then consider it. Let me share a quick story. My friend Rafik used to buy small gadgets online whenever he was bored at night: phone holders, USB lights, little tools. They'd show up at his door, and he'd forget why he even wanted them. One day, he made a deal with himself: no buying between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. That one change helped him save hundreds over a few months, and he didn't miss a single thing he didn't buy. And here's something else that helps. Plan your fun money. A smart budget doesn't mean no fun. It means choosing your fun on purpose. Set aside a small amount each month just for treats, and enjoy it guilt-free. That way, you're still getting those little rewards, but you're not derailing your financial goals. Before we wrap up this page, here's your action step. This week, try the 24-hour rule at least once. When you feel the urge to buy, wait a day. See how you feel after the pause. Notice what triggers your spending. Is it boredom? Stress? A sale? Just paying attention is the first step towards spending smarter. Remember, smarter spending doesn't mean no spending. It means spending in a way that feels good today and tomorrow. Now that you know some of the sneaky ways our emotions and the world around us push us to spend, let's talk about how to take back control. The truth is, you don't need to give up all the fun things in life. You just need a few simple strategies that help you spend on purpose, not on impulse. Let's start with the power of the pause. You've already heard about the 24-hour rule. That's a great one. But here's another trick I share with people I mentor: the wishlist delay. Instead of buying something the moment you want it, add it to a wish list in your notes app, on paper, or even a shopping app. Then set a reminder to review that list in a week or two. What happens? About half the time, you'll realize you don't really want it anymore. And if you still do, and it fits your budget, you can buy it with confidence, knowing it's not just an impulse. Next up, create spending guardrails. Think of these like friendly guidelines that keep you on track without feeling restricted. Here are some examples you can try. Set a spending limit for certain categories. For example, give yourself $50 a month for treats or hobbies, and stick to it. When it's gone until next month. Leave the card at home. When you go out for errands, take only the cash you plan to spend. It's harder to go over budget when the extra money isn't in your pocket. Unsubscribe from temptation. Those sales emails and app notifications? They're designed to make you spend. Take a few minutes to unsubscribe or turn off alerts. Your wallet will thank you. Here's something fun that really works. Turn saving into a minigame. Every time you don't buy something you were tempted by, move that money to your savings. Skipped that $5 coffee? Transfer $5 to your emergency fund. Said no to a $20 impulse gadget? Boom, that $20 goes toward your goals. It feels good and you'll see your savings grow faster. Let me share a quick example. My friend Sam used to joke that he had a shopping thumb. Whenever he was bored, he'd scroll and buy. So he started his own little game. If he resisted an online purchase, he'd put that money into a special savings account. In 6 months, he saved over $300 just by saying no to things he didn't really need. And that money helped him pay for a weekend getaway, guilt-free. Here's one last mindset shift that makes a huge difference. Before you spend, ask, does this move me closer to the life I want? That question helps you connect your spending to your bigger goals. Maybe that small treat does fit your plan because it brings you joy and you've budgeted for it. Or maybe you realize that the purchase is just a quick fix, and you'd rather put that money towards something that really matters. This week's action steps: Try the wishlist delay. Add at least one thing you want to a list instead of buying it right away. Set one spending guardrail. Maybe it's a limit for fun money, maybe it's leaving the card at home. You choose. Reward yourself by moving saved money into your savings when you skip an impulse buy. Remember, this isn't about saying no to everything. It's about saying yes to the things that really matter and feeling good about your choices today and tomorrow. Chapter 5. Breaking Bad Money Habits, Small Changes for Big Impact. Let's be honest, we all have money habits we're not proud of. Maybe it's ordering takeout a little too often. Maybe it's subscriptions we forgot about but keep paying for. Maybe it's grabbing little things at the store that add up faster than we realize. Here's the important part. You're not alone and you're not bad with money because of it. You're human. And the good news? Every habit can be changed, one small step at a time. First, let's talk about how habits work. A habit is just something you do over and over without thinking much about it. It usually starts with a trigger, like feeling bored or stressed, followed by the action, like spending or ordering food, and ending with a reward, maybe feeling better for a moment. To change a habit, we don't have to flip our lives upside down. We just need to spot the pattern and gently shift it. So how do you spot bad money habits? Start by asking yourself, where does my money slip away without me noticing? What purchases do I regret later? What spending patterns leave me feeling stressed or frustrated? Maybe it's those small daily treats that don't feel like much until you add them up at the end of the month. Maybe it's impulsive online shopping late at night. Maybe it's forgetting to cancel a free trial that turned into a paid subscription. The goal isn't to feel bad, it's to notice. Let me tell you about my friend Nina. Nina loved ordering delivery when she was tired after work, which, let's be honest, was most nights. The problem? It was costing her over $200 a month, money she really wanted to use for saving. Once she noticed the pattern, work stress too tired to cook delivery, she made one small change. She started keeping a few easy, ready-to-heat meals at home. Did she still order out sometimes? Sure. But far less often, and she saved over $100 a month with that tiny shift. Here's your mentor's guide to breaking bad money habits gently. Pick one habit at a time. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. Focus on the one that bugs you the most or costs you the most. Understand the trigger. What's making you spend? Is it stress? Boredom? Habit? Plan a replacement. What can you do instead? Maybe swap online shopping for a short walk. Maybe set a reminder to review your subscriptions once a month. Maybe pack a snack so you're not tempted to buy one on the go. And here's the magic formula. Small change plus consistency equals big impact over time. Before we wrap up this page, here's your friendly action step. Pick one spending habit you want to change. Just one. Write down what triggers it, and what small change you'll try this week. Check in with yourself after a few days. How did it feel? What worked? What didn't? Remember, breaking bad habits isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware and making choices that move you closer to the life and financial health you want. Alright, so you've spotted a money habit that isn't helping you, and you've started to think about what triggers it. That's a huge step. Now let's talk about the fun part. Replacing that habit with one that helps you move closer to your goals. Why replace instead of just stop? Here's the thing, habits fill a need. Maybe it's comfort after a hard day. Maybe it's entertainment when you're bored. Maybe it's convenience when you're tired. If you just try to stop without finding another way to meet that need, the habit will creep back in. That's why we replace. Let's look at a few examples of positive replacement habits you can try. If stress makes you spend, try a no-cost way to unwind, like taking a walk, listening to music, or calling a friend. If boredom leads to impulse buys, make a fun-free list. Simple things you enjoy that don't cost anything, like watching a favorite show, sketching, or playing a game on your phone. If convenience spending like takeout is the problem, Keep easy, ready-to-go meals or snacks at home so you're less tempted. Here's how to build new habits that actually stick. Start small. Want to cook at home more? Aim for once a week, not every night at first. Want to cut back on coffee shop trips? Start with one less trip a week. Stack your habit. Link the new habit to something you already do. For example, every time I check my email in the morning, I'll check my spending app too. Celebrate the win. When you stick to your new habit, give yourself a mental high five. Maybe track your streak. Small victories build confidence. Let me share another story. My buddy Arif used to buy snacks from the vending machine at work every afternoon. When he added it up, it was costing him nearly $40 a month. So he started bringing a small bag of mixed nuts from home. It sounds simple, right? But it worked. He still got his afternoon boost, but he saved money and felt better about his choices. Stay encouraged by tracking your progress. Every time you succeed in sticking to your new habit, mark it down. This could be as simple as checking off a box in your notebook, or keeping a streak count in your phone. Watching that streak grow feels good and helps you stay motivated. And remember, slip-ups are normal. Maybe you fall back into an old habit now and then. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. When that happens, pause, think about what triggered it, and get back on track. Each time you do, you're building stronger, smarter money habits. Your action step for this week. Pick one small replacement habit to try. Maybe it's packing a snack. Maybe it's checking your spending once a day. Keep track of your success, even for just a few days. Notice how it feels and what difference it makes. Every small change you make is a building block for a stronger financial future, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way. Chapter 6. Your Financial Future: How to Stay on Track and Grow. You've made it this far, and that means you're serious about building a healthier, happier relationship with your money. I hope you're proud of yourself, because I'm sure proud of you. Now let's talk about something exciting: your financial future. Here's the truth I want you to remember. Big financial success doesn't come from one giant leap. It comes from lots of small steps repeated over time. Think of it like planting a tree. You start with a seed. You water it. You give it sunlight. And one day you've got a strong, beautiful tree providing shade, fruit, or flowers. The same goes for your money. The little things you do today, like saving $5, tracking your spending, or pausing before an impulse buy, those are your seeds. And over time, they grow into real security, freedom, and peace of mind. So how do you stay on track long term? Here's my mentor-style advice. Set simple, clear goals. You don't have to plan your whole life at once. Start small. Maybe your first goal is to build a $500 emergency fund. Maybe it's to save for a weekend getaway without using credit. Write down these goals. Seeing them in black and white makes them feel real. Break big goals into smaller steps. Want to save $500? Break it into $10 or $20 chunks. Every small win keeps you motivated. Check in regularly. Once a month, take a few minutes to review where you are. What's working? What's hard? What can you adjust? This keeps your plan alive and flexible. Let me tell you about my friend Yasmin. A couple of years ago, she set a goal to save for a used car. She didn't have a lot of extra money, so she broke it into mini goals, $100 at a time. She celebrated each milestone. A year later, she bought that car. No loan, no stress. The key wasn't a giant paycheck or a windfall. It was steady, small steps that added up. Another tip for the long game: keep learning. The more you learn about money, in friendly, simple ways like you're doing now, the stronger your financial skills will become. You don't need to become an expert overnight. Just stay curious. Ask questions. Read a little. Try new tools. Every bit of knowledge helps. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. There will be times when things don't go as planned. Maybe an emergency comes up. Maybe you have a month where saving feels impossible. That's okay. Life happens. The key is to regroup, adjust, and keep going. Remember, progress, not perfection. Your action steps this week. Write down one small, realistic financial goal. Just one. Break it into tiny steps. The smaller, the better. Pick a date for your first check-in, maybe 2 weeks from today. Put it on your calendar. Every small step you take today builds a future that's stronger, safer, and more in your control. And I'll say it again, you're already on your way. You've come a long way. You've learned how to budget in a way that fits your life, how to start saving, how to spot and change spending habits, and how to set small, meaningful goals. So now, let's talk about the big picture. How to stay inspired, keep learning, and make smart money choices for the long haul. First, remind yourself of your why. Why did you pick up this guide? Why do you want to manage your money better? Maybe it's for peace of mind. Maybe it's for your family. Maybe it's to travel, start a business, or own your home someday. Whatever your why is, keep it front and center. Write it down. Stick it on your fridge or your mirror. When times get tough, and they will, now and then, remembering why you're making these choices will help you stay on track. Next, build your financial confidence bit by bit. Every smart money move you make, no matter how small, builds your confidence. The first time you say no to an impulse buy and move that money to savings? That's a win. The first time you check your spending without fear? That's a win. The first time you reach a small goal? Huge win. These moments add up, and over time you'll stop thinking, I hope I can do this, and start thinking, I know I can. Keep your learning going. You don't need to read textbooks or get a degree in finance. Just stay curious. Maybe once a month, read a short article or listen to a podcast about money. Ask a trusted friend how they save or budget. Try out a new tool or app if it interests you. Little by little, you'll pick up ideas and tips that make your journey smoother. Surround yourself with support. It's easier to stay motivated when you have people cheering you on, even if it's just one person. Maybe you and a friend can check in with each other about your goals. Maybe you can join an online group focused on saving or budgeting. Having a support system reminds you that you're not doing this alone. Be ready to adjust. Life changes. Your goals will change. Your budget will need tweak. And that's okay. The plan that works for you now might look different a year from now, and that's a sign of growth, not failure. Stay flexible. When something doesn't work anymore, take a deep breath and rework it. You're in charge. And most of all, celebrate how far you've come. Even reading this guide shows you're taking your money seriously. That's a huge step. Every small choice, every bit of effort, every dollar saved is a building block for a stronger, safer future. Give yourself credit for that. Here's your final action step for this guide. Write down one thing you've learned that you're proud of. Write down one habit you'll keep practicing. Write down one way you'll keep learning, maybe a book, a podcast, or a conversation. And with that, I want to leave you with this. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. Small steps, steady progress, and kindness toward yourself. That's the real path to financial success. I'm proud of you for taking these steps. Keep going. Your future self will thank you.